Alrighty, there we go. We are live. Hey, what's going on, everybody? It is good to be back. We are so back. And yeah, hey guys, good to see a couple of you guys here early in the chat. Mangotro's today, the first day of CWL. It's funny you asked that, actually, because I normally only stream during CWL, right? Hamza, hey, what's going on? And Saddam, good to see you, bro. And yeah, it's been a pretty hectic day for me. Lots of stuff going on with work and obviously with the clan as well. But good to be here now to chill. I will be doing a bunch of Legend League attacks. It will just be a pretty chill stream of me going through my ranked hits. And yeah, Rupture, thanks for the follow. I appreciate that. And yeah, so what I am using these days is this fireball combination, and it's funny because I discovered it a few days ago when So in our server was sharing some pretty amazing offensive stats, and then recently Shock made a video on this. Yeah, Clean Shade Man looks like Pookie. Yes, I did just do a fresh shave. And Asan, what's going on? CWL is going to be deadly. You're absolutely right about that. I am looking forward to it. I'll show you guys where we're going to do CWL this season. It's going to be in one of my clans. A couple of my clans, obviously. Here is Titan 3. We will do this. We did previously go for Titan 3 back in June. This was when we had that second CWL in that month, but that did not go well, but we are going to give it another run. And then here is Titan 1. This is where I will be playing the majority of my IDs. Here's one of them, actually. And yeah, it's definitely gonna be a good stream, I think, or a good week, I should say. Please decrease the volume of the background music for sure, bro. I wonder if I mess with the balance anywhere. I think I know what it is, actually. It might be 1 second. There we go. I did reduce a compressor that was on my mic, so you should be able to hear me a little more clearly. Sometimes I really wish we can get 2 CWLs. I don't know about that, bro. As a clan leader, it was kind of a nightmare to deal with, I'll be honest. Anyway, let's go for this first attack. And we do find ourselves this older base. I do wonder what the best approach on this would be with this particular strategy. I have a feeling I need to go for something with the log launcher in this case. I normally try to look for flame flinger value, but the truth is that I don't think there is that great of value on this base for the Flame Flinger. So let's at least start by checking for a Tesla. I know that there's no Teslas over here, but I wanted to check anyway. And then I will probably guide the Warden towards the Monolith. I do want to see him at least try to pick up a storage before he heads that way. He does. There's more Teslas over here, right? Yes, of course. Just keeping a close eye on the Warden. I want to make sure he sustains here. It's just a little bit of a precautionary totem there. Maybe it wasn't needed. There's a chance it wasn't. I think I missed a little bit of backpack value, but it's fine. We shall see what a follow-up can look like here. I do think that we're looking pretty solid. Just need to make sure that this log launcher delivers, and then obviously I need to deal with the CC properly as well. I do think that is probably the last real threat on the base. Do have to think about the revive as well. I'm probably taking too long to do all this, but it's fine. Do you think that the Warden should go and pick up the Town Hall, right? And then the rest is just cleanup. There it is. A nice first 3 stars, although it was a little bit close on time, wasn't it? Thanks, bro. Now it's clear. Yeah, I had to reduce the compressor. Actually, it's completely disabled now. Krish, what's going on? Good to see you. And yeah, it's surprising that people still use this space, but I think it is because it does work every now and then. Like if I had lost the Warden over here near the Monolith, obviously it would have been a little bit tricky to deal with, right? And I missed some backpack value. I got to take another look at that. I probably should have aimed for picking up one of the Infernos. The Fireball was decent, but I missed the Quakes. But I really just want to see the backpack. And yeah, I definitely should have at least gotten the Super Wizard Tower, if not the Inferno. Jerry, hey, what's going on? Good to see you. And yeah, this is going to be a bit of a, I don't want to call it a masterclass because I'm not quite at the level of mastery that So is with this army, but this is definitely going to be a long stream with this strategy. We'll be doing all 48 of my attacks. This is somebody from Titans 2.0, a fellow clan in Legend League. I do think I can potentially pick up a decent flinger here. I do have to keep an eye on the Expos. Those Expos are going to potentially stop a flinger. But I do want to give the flinger a try here. that expo will go down, but there's still another expo. So obviously I have to look up for that, but at least I can over here get started on the warden. I do have to think about making the fireball a little quick. Like maybe just hitting the second expo there is fine. Did unfortunately get a hit on the flinger there. And yeah, Tesla popped up. Not the best flinger for sure. And maybe there was a better flinger that I missed. But yeah, the plan is to eventually recall the warden and send him behind the other fire spitter. Just like this, and finally we can get started on everything else. So hopefully I haven't wasted too much time with this. I do think I'm going to run into a time issue, especially because that flinger was unsuccessful. That's really kind of the biggest issue I've had with this army in my time using it. So hopefully that does not pose as an issue this time. Obviously I am running out of time, right? Yeah, swag and invis, but still a time fill. All players follow the meta, but Dhoom makes his own meta. I'm not so sure, actually. I do think that this is potentially the meta that we're looking at. You do see some players falling off like Stars, right? Stars was pretty much on top of the meta for about 6 months, up until last season when we experienced a balance change, which mostly affected the Duke Charge Dragon Rider strategy. Dhoom, can I come to your clan for friendly challenges with my Town Hall 16? Sure, but I'm not sure how beneficial that would be, given that everybody in the clan is Town Hall 18. But yeah, just text me on Discord and send me your player link, and I'll send you a quick invite. This time, obviously, I have to look for something quicker than what I just went for, right? Do you think I'm going to line up my Giant Arrow backpack to maybe hit the CC? I can also get a good fireball to hit the CC. So let's start over here. I do have to think about the flinger as well. This should be a pretty solid flame flinger to set up here. That sweeper did get me a little bit of knockback. Nice traps. Revenge Tower's putting in work, isn't it? But the flinger is flinging. Going to pick up the warden there, drop him there. And then we do have 3 quakes left. I do have to obviously Look out for my flinger. I said that, but right as I said that, we did get an X-bow on the flinger. I do think that we are in good shape in this particular raid. I do have to obviously watch the queen. Do you think she's at risk of potentially getting taken out? And it looks like another successful attack done here. Essentially, the thought process for this was to figure out the fireball range. Once I saw I could hit a fireball on the CC, then the rest was just a pretty straightforward follow-up. Stars was nerfed. Yeah, he was nerfed big time. I agree. There are some huge baits in the corners. Yeah, the corners are definitely a good place to drop your traps. For sure, drop your traps. Teslas, skeletons, some seeking air mines. Very good fireball, thank you. And I don't know if you've sent a request to join. But I hope at least you texted me. I should be able to get to that in a second. I do want to think about trying to hit the CC somehow with this. I'm probably going to use the giant arrow backpack to hit the CC, that's what I'm thinking. Probably set up a flinger over on this left side over here. That does seem like the most reasonable plan. The only thing is that monolith might be a little bit tricky. But I do think that I set up my flinger pretty nicely in this corner. When you see a bunch of buildings clumped up together like this, then you can generally tell it's pretty safe for a Tesla. I'm going to trigger the invis with at least one super minion, like this. That way it's not an issue with my warden retargeting. And then that minion also does a good job of testing for any Teslas. So hopefully you can see at this point how this is developing so far. I did fortunately nail my giant arrow there, which is nice. Do think I'm gonna have to pull my warden and send him somewhere else in a moment. Unfortunately lost my queen, so maybe not. Good place for a poison there, isn't it? I just really mainly need the king to handle the revenge shower. That revenge shower is really the last threat on the base. We'll make the king invisible just to at least get a retargeting there, which should help. And now let's pull the warden. So hopefully this is enough. It might time fail. And if it does, that's unfortunate, but it is what it is. Yeah, 98%. 98%. A good plan, but obviously everything was slow. I have a feeling there's some things I could have done a little quicker, at least setting up that fireball. Alrighty, let's check this base here. I do like this fireball on the revenge shower. That does look pretty juicy. I can also pretty much follow it up with a nice giant arrow to hit the CC. I should probably set that up with a minion. Check for a Tesla over here. Of course there's Teslas. No surprise about that. I'll even drop out an ice golem here. Check for any traps there. I should have been thinking about the flinger, right? Potentially. Maybe I can instead set up a log launcher. That might actually end up working out better for me in this particular instance. I'll drop a furnace in this corner to get the funnel going. I did lose my one there, should have been paying attention, definitely. But thankfully the healers did transfer safely. Maybe I can continue this without the warden. I do think this can work. Maybe I'm delusional, actually. I'm going to recall him. And I've just done that, realizing now that my healers are way over here. So that was probably just a silly thing to do. Obviously not a good raid how this played out. Very close, but no cigar. Panic mode? Yeah, kind of, right? What? Why not use a revive? I was not paying attention to the warden enough. Is there a corner where you think it's more difficult send a giant arrow? It's a good question, actually. I do think that obviously it depends on the buildings. I do think that giant arrows are tricky to shoot off of 4x4s, like the army camps and stuff. Army camps workshop and the hero hall. If you're going to practice your giant arrow, then you should probably practice shooting off of army camps like this, because it's not exactly the same as shooting a giant arrow off of a 3x3 building. The angles are just a little different. So definitely practice that. Let's watch at least what happened to the warden back. It was probably the multi-gear. I do actually think that things went well enough with the hero charge and the log launcher that if I recalled my warden, yeah, it was the K-Capult combined with the multi-gear tower, and the warden got smoked. Obviously, should have paid better attention than that. Alrighty. We do have this base here. I do think that I'm probably going to shoot the giant arrow backpack from the town hall area, actually, which is a little different than what I typically go for. I'm going to start at least with setting up a flinger. Can definitely get a nice flinger here. And then the fireball, I'm probably just going to hit the scatter shot. I could also aim for the air defense maybe, but the scatter shot is definitely the easiest target, which hits the CC. Just like so. And then I can prioritize the monolith with the setup, right? Or maybe the Catapult or the Revenge Shower potentially. Let's see here. Did trigger the invis there, which is nice. And there's also a Tesla that I can shoot the giant arrow off of, which I definitely appreciate. Just like that. Obviously the flinger is still flinging quite nicely. So we should be in good shape here to triple this. That's a Cocolim pretty much. Still have the king alive as well. I'm just going to watch the warden and the damage from the catapults. And obviously this was crushed pretty easily. Good plan this time. Swag 5 spells. If only I could do this on every base. And I gotta say, one really nice thing about this army is that I am not doing any 1-stars. I would say sometimes you're missing a quick fireball and that's where you're wasting some time. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Can't get too greedy, right? But I'm also probably wasting a lot of time with the flinger, you know? I do think that is potentially the case. There's definitely some nice flinger value down here. I do want to also look out for the heroes, but that means I can probably fireball the monolith. And then giant arrow backpack the revenge shower. Should be a pretty easy follow-up, right? Let's just at least check for a Tesla down here. And thankfully there is no Tesla. I'm gonna wait for the Expo and the Archer Tower to go down. Probably going to need a second invis, and I think that's totally fine. Let's use a third one actually to pick up that little bit of extra value. That does mean I'm going to miss the Revenge Shower, but I don't think that the Revenge Shower actually looks too scary from there. I do think I can withstand that. I'll at least drop a couple of quakes down here to eliminate the invis tower. Got some drama there with the warden for sure. Do you think we have a pretty clean plan going? I do think that the warden will soon follow the troops coming out of the flame flinger, and he does. Little bit of a disaster for the warden, but it's fine. The base is already pretty much dismantled. And check out the swag. If you set up a quick fireball and your warden is safe, most of the time after that you can focus on setting up the flinger. You think I can do the flinger second? Because the flinger does pretty much last for the whole raid. And I'm looking for a message from Shirag. If you're in the chat, Shirag, text me on Discord and send me your player link, because I know you asked for some friendly challenges. Thanks, I'm usually good with the arrow. I'm building a couple of bases, and I think I'll, yeah, if you try to set up a, like a hero hall or an army camp, then at least try to put it so that it's one tile off, like this. I do think that might be tricky, potentially, but for an experienced player, it'll still be pretty easy. Amazing attacks last 2, thank you so much. I do have to hopefully close this out here. There's a couple of ray showers. I do think that there's a nice potential for a flinger to pick up some defenses over here like this. But it's going to be tricky to deal with the revenge shower if I don't have any plan to pick that up from the setup. So maybe what I should do is a fireball on that fire spitter. To pick up the CC. Just like that, and then set up the flinger, right? Like you mentioned. Because there is a chance you were right about setting up the flinger second. And that is my healers gone, unfortunately. You look away for 1 second, and that is what happens to them. So I don't think that I will be tripling in this particular instance. We'll see if I can pull off a recovery of a lifetime here. Especially because I don't think I have that clutch factor yet with this army. I definitely think that there's a level of experience needed that I just don't have at the moment to recover something like that. We'll see what the queen can do though. I do think she is poised to pick up some good value. I just want to see if the king has the potential to pick up the monolith somehow. Even though he probably doesn't. He did, but is it enough? I don't think so. I don't even have the time. Obviously could have been a triple if I looked after my healers, but also the good thing is that I did not do any 1-stars right. 281, not amazing, but at least it's around average, right? The whole no 1-stars thing with this strategy is really saving my rank a little bit, I must say. I just need to clean up some of the mistakes. I'll send you after the stream. Yesterday I sent requests in TF, but someone rejected you. I'm sorry about that. I'm sorry about that. I almost never fail with this approach, plus you were near the Guardian, so should have recalled. Yeah, you look away for 1 second. Obviously, anytime I lose the Warden or the healers like that, I should have recalled. But good to hear that you were using this strategy as well. Can probably set up a nice flame flinger over here, actually. Nice fireball. Do you think that the Warden's going to continue off towards the north? But that's actually okay. I can give him a little bit of time to develop that. Especially because he will pick up the expo, I think, right? We're looking pretty safe. Flinger did get targeted. That was my mistake. Definitely should have sniped the expo there. And of course I lose my Warden in a fantastic fashion. Nothing to really do about that, unfortunately. I could revive him. I still have healers, but it's not going to go well for him if he ends up going into the revenge tower immediately. Maybe we can do it anyway, just for the sake of it. The sake of percentage rate. Almost looks like a time fail, doesn't it? That's really the moral of the story here. Not quite a time fail, but very close. Been using this for the past 2 months. That's amazing. That's amazing. And Val K, what's going on? Good to see you. Appreciate you tuning into the stream. I'm using a strategy that I'm not really quite accustomed to. So just bear with me. I'm actually messing with the tracks a little bit. Let's listen to this one here. Alrighty. On to the next. So you don't use Hydra anymore. Hydra still works, but I was doing a lot of 1-stars with that. So I wanted to switch to something that had a little bit more backup. I think with this, there's plenty of options for backup. That's my opinion on this strategy so far. Let's just start the flinger over here. This fireball is definitely going to take at least a little bit of time to deliver. Just like that. I do think that is a pretty solid fireball, although I'm a little worried about the follow-up. Doesn't look too clear just yet. I did unfortunately miss the arrow there, but I do think that the revenge shower is going to stop me in the end. I've definitely got not enough to deal with the revenge shower properly. Unless the king manages to do a good job. It's going to be very difficult. Yeah. The Duke can get it done, but that was definitely a little sketchy. This army is definitely not easy, but step by step, yeah, you have to eventually have a pretty good intuition for everything because of the fact you only have 30 seconds to plan. I'd recommend placing poison on Logger before the backpack so he's getting a few shots before you can react to it. Yeah, that's what I did the Ice Golem for. But I think that the Ice Golem got sprung. That's actually a pretty decent suggestion. As long as I have a plan for the CC, right? I do find myself sometimes dropping poison on the Guardian and later realizing that the CC is still standing. But yeah, this Ice Golem was just not timed properly. Obviously, it should have been when the Logger was closer, right? Little details like that are why some players are able to make the most of it. Why don't you try throwers? It is also powerful. I have tried throwers, and I like them, but I do like this a little better. I do like this a little better. And I'm noticing some players having better success with this than with the throwers. Let's check for a Tesla here. And there is no Tesla. I think I dropped an extra rocket loon by mistake. You only actually need 4 rocket loons to eliminate the expo. The nice thing is here, I didn't need any quakes for that fireball. We'll see whether that was the correct choice or not. The good thing is I think I'm going to be able to hold my poison here for a better time. This is looking pretty smooth, I must say. And here is that poison. So hopefully this is enough. I think it is. The spiky ball was forced right then, but that's totally fine. Obviously, I still have some spells left. You can kind of swag fireball in the space. Yeah, you can, right? You're absolutely right about that. There was one time where I accidentally launched a fireball on the... this was an archer tower, and it was by total mistake, and I still tripled. Definitely an easy base for this strategy. I kind of want to see your attacks. If you have Legend 1 hits going, I want to see how you are managing the strategy. Do see a nice potential for the giant arrow backpack. Couple of super minions to pull the warden the other way towards that scatter shot that I should have destroyed with the quakes. This is looking pretty solid in terms of setup. Probably going to send my king directly into the town hall. Mainly to deal with the heroes. I'm essentially just reacting there. So far, looking pretty okay, right? Might have to look out for spells once the warden is close by the monolith. But, yeah, everything else looking pretty smooth. Flinger still kicking. I think that we can just 4x the rest of this, right? Nice and easy swag. Did swag at 6 spell space in that hit. I'm kind of on a break since mid-July because I had exams. Yeah, you should definitely focus on the exams, right? Hope that is going well for you. You were playing CW on Titans 2, that's pretty cool. I do think that pretty soon we will see Titan 2 return to the Legend 3 modifier, because at the moment it is currently set for Legends 2, and that's only meant to just be temporary. I do see a nice flinger to pick up the Fire Spitter over here. I would obviously have to eliminate the Expo early, but have to be careful because obviously if any Rocket Loons end up in the range of the CC, I might pull some of that. But thankfully I did manage to do that without that being an issue. And so now this Flinger pretty much has free reign in this area, which means I can probably just go for an easy fireball in this other Ray Shower. Just gonna wait for the Warden to step forward. I do think that I did start this at least pretty logically. But the question is how I'm going to get the heroes eventually into the Town Hall. Maybe this was meant to be a log launcher base, you know? Log launcher might have been a better option here. And unfortunately that is a late recall. So hopefully that doesn't cause me any issues. I can try to revive the Warden if things are going well with the Duke, but there's a chance that may never happen. Let's just give the Queen the healers. I have a feeling that's the best course of action here, especially to try to set up a later Duke revive. Really shocked about this monolith. Doing good work. I thought I could have at least eliminated that. But obviously the Town Hall was never an issue here because of the super minions I had on standby. If anything, it was just a time fail in the end. Moral of the story, right? Time failing with this strategy. You place 1500 in June, that's pretty decent actually. And it's interesting that you're going to be in Titan 1 because we are also going for Titan 1. We're going to be playing in Dark Heaven. Why would they change to Legend 3 modifier in Titan 2? It's because that's actually what it's supposed to be. The only reason that it's in Legends 2 at the moment is because they essentially want better competition in Titan 3 and Titan 2. So the intended modifiers are supposed to be Titan 3 without modifiers, and then Titan 2 Legends 3, Titan 1 Legends 2, and Legend League and Legends 1. That's at least what they've intended. That's what they announced initially, but it's been a few months, right? And we've seen it the other way. Guess I'm starting here with the Warden first. I can set up a pretty easy Flame Flinger over here. Although it might cost me some early Rocket Loons. I am already down to my last rocket loom, which is not ideal. But I do see some nice potential for this flinger. Definitely looks like it's going to go for a while. A little unfortunate that the Warden chose to dip away from the fire spitter just before he went to grab it. Let's think about now sending the king into the revenge tower. Do you think that's the best place for him? Did unfortunately lose everything. Most everything. But if these super minions are successful, which they are, then the Duke with the revive should be able to pick up the rest of the base here. Actually, the flame flinger has potential to do it. Not using ice golems is crazy, you think so? I did just swag a revive and a recall. And obviously, the only CC I used was a flinger. Okay, let's see here. What do you think about this base? This base has always kind of tripped me up a little bit. I do think that a nice giant arrow backpack to go for is obviously the CC, but sometimes it's hard to line up on this base. Maybe I can go for a flinger still. Clash with Zach, what's going on? Good to see you. Let's see here. I think I am going to start over here with the flinger. Like that. The only thing is obviously the fact that it's going to run into an expo at some point soon. So I do want to keep an eye on that. But I think what I'm really eyeing here is a fireball on the monolith. I did get that setup there I wanted, which is nice. Always nice, right? Now I do have to watch the flinger, because that's going to run into the expo pretty soon. And obviously the revenge tower is also another threat. Think I'm gonna wait for that to go down. And then hit the recall soon. Looking pretty solid, right? I think I just swagged that revive because I use it to revive the Duke, but the Duke's obviously not going to do anything with the rest of the base. Another swag recall revive. Crush, I know, right? I'm confused so much how tricky is this base for attacking. Yeah, really the most difficult thing for me is to manage everything. I made a mistake by not sending rocket loons into the expo soon enough. But I was managing a hero charge on this bottom corner, the flinger against the expo on the left corner, and then the warden on the right corner. Hard to do all three of those at once. And typically when I see this layout, I fail it because of that. Even though this layout is very easy for Hydra, I gotta say, I go for this exact same giant arrow backpack setup with Hydra, and it's pretty easy to follow up. But right here, I just want to see how my timing was with these expos. It might have just been totally wrong. Yeah, just barely late. Although I do think that the flinger was about to open up anyway. I think Fireball and Super Wizard Tower was better. You think so? I could have gotten both the Revenge Tower and the Mono. You might be right about that. Yeah, that's nice, but obviously spreading the quakes between the Revenge Tower and the Monolith is tricky, right? Maybe it's possible, but knowing myself, I would have probably missed one or the other with the quakes. I think what I did obviously worked well enough. Alrighty. One more attack here, and this is for, I think it's like plus 300. I think that's what I'm going for. This is somebody we faced in our most recent CW also. Pretty interesting to find them here. I do wonder what a good fireball here looks like for me. Or even a good flinger. I think that this top corner has a nice potential for the flinger. Just like that. And then where do I fireball? Makes sense to fireball like the monolith or something, right? It was a little slow to drop the warden there, but I was doing a little bit of decision making. Deciding whether or not to start the warden at that particular spot. This is where I think an icebox ball would be nice. I did unfortunately miss the healers. So maybe what I should do is something like this. To try to send the warden this way, and then follow it up with this. To get that set up there, and then I'm obviously going to have to send the king into here. Pretty obvious to me. Just have to watch now for the enemy prince. I do think he's going to be a bit of a nuisance where he's standing. Maybe I can use some rocket loons to assist there. Or maybe I should say super minions. And they do quite nicely. Do you think we did a nice job on this particular raid? Another swag revive. And triple against one of my previous adversaries. Nice attack, thank you so much. Yeah, it's all about that 30 seconds before the hit starts, right? Trying to get everything in order. What is that? 299, which is not bad. Definitely not bad, but not enough to overcome the defense I had yesterday. Obviously, I want to see some 320, right? Hi, nice hit. Thank you so much. Hey, it's good to see you, bro. Nice to see you here in the stream again, Mr. Taeyam. You should change your screen name so that it's Victoria, right? That way people know exactly who you are. I feel like the name Victoria is a little more recognizable. Or maybe that's exactly what you're going for. There's a little bit of a hidden identity. This is that exact base. The exact same base I just hit. So nice to see that again. This must have been shared in some kind of a sub recently. Hopefully I can successfully land this fireball again. I did unfortunately miss the fire spitter this time, but I think that I can handle that with the king still. Hopefully. So far things are looking okay. I did use one totem there to control that fire spitter. Hopefully that pays off. Looking a little suspicious this time. Not as clean as the first hit for sure. Thankfully we still have the revive. Can definitely use that to, I was gonna say pick up the prince, but obviously now I have to think about the warden. That might have been a bit of a crucial blunder there. Bit of a silly mistake, I gotta say. But 3 swag invis. They should increase the clan limit to 70. I should really be more like 200. Switch to this army on all accounts. Yes, this is what I will be using in the next foreseeable future. I do think that this is where we are at in the meta. The backpack is so strong, and fireball is not as easily countered by the current crafting phase. I think that the lava launcher from the previous phase was a bit lethal to the strategy. But you can see that I'm pretty much ignoring the K-Couple every time I find it, or at least not taking it into any regard. There's a nice flinger up here. Pretty sure I just tripled this not too long ago on the stream. Did use a total of 5 rocket loons right there, which is better than the first time. I remember that I was down to like 1 rocket loon by this point on the previous attempt. Nice Teslas. Do you think that the warden's going to walk over towards the builder hut? And then right after that, I will launch the fireball. Obviously looking good here so far. Obviously just need to look out for the time. Did nearly lose the warden there. There must have been some traps. That's what that looks like. And I do think that we have the rest again swag here. Starting to get a hang of this. They're good with fireball, thank you so much. They should make minimum space to 50 and max 75. Nah, that's crazy, bro. 200 would not be too much. We should definitely be seeing at least 100. I don't think that... I think that 50 is a little bit outdated because the game initially was introduced with 50. Are you Doom? Which manages Dark Heaven? Yes, I am. I recognize you, and I think you might be a member I've kicked in the past. So, good to see you here, I suppose. Let's see here, I'm looking for a flame flinger. The flame flinger is going to be a little bit tough to accommodate, but I think that I'm just going to live with whatever happens right here. Just like that, that's fine, actually. Getting used to it, yeah, it's all about the management and the planning. I think that the first 30 seconds of the attack is what matters the most. Trying to come up with some reasonable ideas on how to hit the base. Like so. I'm a little worried about that revenge shower. That's going to be a nuisance. I might have to recall the warden once he gets close to that. But I do have the king making a beeline towards the town hall, which is nice. There's a very clear pathing for him. Should be good, right? I might recall the Duke, actually, which is a bit different from what I typically go for. But that's for the sake of getting the Duke in a safer position over here. I knew he was going to go down once he met the enemy queen. Just like that. Even though she was low, you would think that he would be able to handle her, right? Not in this particular instance. That's what my girl used to say. You can actually one-walk the Revenge Shower in the beginning easily. Yeah, you're actually right. That the Revenge Shower is not so dangerous in the beginning of the attack. But what would you fireball over here? Would you fireball the Revenge Shower itself? Or would you fireball maybe this Expo to set up a path into the Revenge Shower? That does make sense. But that also leaves up the Monolith, which I guess is pretty easy to manage after the recall. After recall, fireball mono. That's about what I did, isn't it? Alrighty. Let's keep hitting here. This base. This is, I'll be honest, this is a base I've failed a few times. So I do hope I can find some redemption here. It's not exactly clear what I should go for with the flinger, other than maybe like this corner over here. Like this. I think that the ricochet being so close to the Expo means that that will go down. See how the Expo is getting splashed a little bit. Yeah, and how's that for a quick fireball? Just keeping an eye on that Expo before I move on to the next phase of the hit. Just like that. So hopefully that means that the flinger can run unimpeded for a while. Did get hit by some skeletons there, which is not ideal. I have to think about a recall soon. I did think I was going to hit the Revenge Shower there. A little unfortunate how I didn't. And there we go, I did snipe that Revenge Shower quite nicely. That was pretty cool actually. Great setup, thank you so much. I was obviously worried about that Revenge Shower a little bit, right? This is currently my 4th league day with this army, so I'll switch over to the Discord soon and show you guys what I've been hitting with this. You can see here, obviously, I've been mostly around 280. This base, it's the same base again, isn't it? Exactly the same. Very interesting to find that again. Obviously, I have to watch that expo once the flinger gets there. Although I'm probably going to use a couple of super minions. I want the worm to continue this way, and then potentially save him after with the recall against that revenge shower. Things are not going quite as smoothly in the Town Hall area on this particular hit, but I still have all that invis left, right? That invis is going to be nice, at least if I can snipe the revenge shower in a similar way. Just like that. I still have a spiky ball as well. And that does finish the base. Bro, when will the monolith arrow be available in the shop? I'm assuming next month. It'll be available for 1,500 gems. And if not next month, then it will definitely be October. And Buzz, welcome to the stream, bro. I'm doing pretty well, and I hope you are too. It's been a pretty busy day for me because unfortunately I had a show canceled. I sell shows for a living, and one of my shows got canceled. So I had to deal with that today. I'm a hop off. I appreciate you hanging out. It's all good. You go take care of business, bro. This is Achilles here with a very similar kind of base to the one I just hit. Pretty similar. I do think that I have an idea for the flinger that might be a little bit risky. Obviously because of those expos. But I do want to try to pull it off. Looking a little sus already. I just got forced to a fireball there, not ideal. If the warden can pick up the expo, that's fine. But yeah, my flinger's getting shot down as well. Just replace him there. My queen kind of got wrecked, but I don't have any more totems. Did thankfully save my warden in time there to pick up the revenge shower, which is nice. So hopefully that's enough to deal with the rest of the base. Not too sure just yet. We'll see if the Duke has it or not. Yeah, it seems like the Duke does not have the force. Very close. It's gonna end up in the 90s, which I suppose is not half bad. It's just another time fail in the end. %94. Love the calm and relaxing atmosphere. I appreciate that. Always when the music agrees, though, because sometimes I do find some tracks that are a little jovial, to say the least. Close, yeah. Close, but not quite enough. This is probably a scenario where I should use the log launcher, I feel.
Record some ambience and put it in this track.
Do you think I've managed this pretty well so far? Especially in terms of time, right? Another easy 3 stars. Definitely an interesting layout, right? Nowadays, everyone is using corner town hall, which is really frustrating. Actually, it shouldn't be frustrating, you know? I think that it just means you get an easy 2 stars, right? GG's, thank you. One more for a 310, which would definitely be up there with one of my best results with this strategy, but I do need to triple once more, right? The job is not quite yet finished. Looking to see where I can send a flinger on this layout. The fireball is pretty obvious that it needs to target the CC, but the flinger has a couple options. Let's start right over here. And this is definitely one of those cases where the Raven outperforms the Sneezy. And it's simply the fact that the boogers won't pull any CC troops. Obviously a nice fireball to work with. Do you think that the plan looks good so far? How it's unfolded? Gonna keep a close eye on the warden here, because soon this will be rage damage, so I definitely have to recall him momentarily. Just like so. And that is 310. Multitasking on point, is it? You think so? I appreciate that, actually. Global rank 122 with a couple defenses. Hopefully this 310 will be enough to boost me back into the top 500 on this account. Do hope so. Scum, thanks for the follow. I appreciate that. You might have followed me a while ago at this point, but I've just noticed it. Anyway, we can move on to the next account. Most people like, nah, I'm good with throwers. Throwers are still, I would definitely rate them highly. I don't even think they're like boring to use. I think that they can be fun to use, especially if you use something that's a little less spammy and a little more like this potentially. This is a giant arrow backpack, isn't it? Oh, I recognize this. This is actually what I used in the placement week back when they were deciding which league everyone in Legend should be in. And this was back at a time when you only needed 2 Quakes to pick up major targets like the Revenge Tower and the CC. And so this composition had 4 Quakes here. But now to run the same strategy here, it would have to be 6 Quakes. I do think that if I were to run backpack arrow with the throwers, I would probably just be using 3 these days. That's what I'm thinking. I should have an army save somewhere that I will give a shot if I can find it. Just to show you guys that there is real potential. Okay, let's take a look here. This almost looks like I should try to aim for the monolith, right, with the fireball. It's kind of what I'm thinking. Just like so. Do need to obviously keep an eye on the warden. We'll see if this follow-up is correct or not. Looks like it could potentially run into some issues. especially close by the revenge shower. Just trying to keep an eye on the warden. Don't really want to keep him in this area for much longer. Think I almost lost my warden there. Glad that did not happen. Very close. Nice to see that the revenge shower went down. I think that was clutch, actually. That revenge shower definitely needed to go down. But another 3 stars done. We're kind of on a roll, aren't we? What did I do so far? I did 310 just now. And I think I did 290, let me see. I did 281 on the first account. And then on the second account, I did 299 and then 310. Definitely going well today. I'm finally kind of on track. Alrighty. This is pretty obvious what I want to go for here. Thankfully, I don't have to think too much this time. I'm gonna send a fireball on this left side ray shower, and then a flinger over on the right side. Did already make a mistake with the flinger, unfortunately. So hopefully that does not cost me in the end. The flinger was briefly targeted. Just briefly. Might have screwed this up. There's the recall. Yeah, that was very suspicious how that played out. But thankfully I did manage to keep the warden alive there. Can probably send the king into here, right? With an ice golem. Now hopefully this revive spell can be enough. The queen reaching over to the multi-gear tower is nice though. It's just a matter of whether the warden can handle the K-Capults. And right as I say that, the K-Capult does go down. So another nice 3 stars here. even though I had a bit of a mishap with the flinger. Fireball without ice block is a little scary, I agree. You have to basically be ready to recall immediately. Yeah, in this case I definitely would have appreciated an ice block spell. But I do think that we agree now that the best use case for the ice block spell, it's supposed to be the revenge check, right? If I were to bring an ice block spell, I'd probably also slap the revenge check on the Duke. And Guts, what's going on? Good to see you, bro. Yeah, that was definitely risky there with the fireball, wasn't it? I am using So Strategy. This was showcased recently on Shock's channel, so I'm sure many of you guys have already seen it. Or at least have an idea of how it works, right? It's definitely a nice flinger to look at over by actually both of the Rage Showers. What I'm really thinking about is how I can get rid of that CC. The CC looks like a big threat. Let's just start the flinger. I missed the Invis. Yeah, that's not ideal. Let's just go for an insta-fireball now. And hopefully that hits the CC. It does. I didn't actually think it did. So swag a couple of Invis, right? And next I do think that we should eliminate the Revenge Shower with the Giant Arrow Backpack. And we do successfully get that. Very nice. Do have to think about where I'm going to send the king as well. Guess right there is fine. Nearly missed that recall. Very close. Do you think I've managed everything else pretty well enough? Let's just revive the Duke. That might not be good. I think I might have lost my Warden in a way that shut down this attack, which is unfortunate. Things were going so well. It's going to finish at least in the 90s, right? 94%. How's it going? I'm averaging around 280. I'll show you exactly what I'm averaging actually, but I'm not going to do that until the end of the stream. Revenge check is hit or miss kind of thing. It will not be nerfed at least. Well, here, let me show you this. I do want to show you this. Give me one quick second. This is an attack I did earlier today with throwers together with the revenge check. And this was in esports. I did mention that this strategy is having success in esports lately. And so you guys should check this out here. I chose this base because there was a pretty early approach into the Town Hall and the Guardian. It was definitely a little bit exposed. And so I started with a group of throwers over here to eliminate the enemy Duke and the logger, obviously. And then I dropped the queen over here behind this mortar. And essentially what that does is it sets up the Duke to go right here, directly into the core. So just have a watch with this. This is esports. Definitely worth a look. Yeah, if I had to guess what my average is with the fireball, though, it's probably around 280, which is really not that great. If you want to secure your place in the top 1,000, you got to be hitting at least 290 on average. There are definitely players with a 280 average in the top 1,000, but some of my accounts are hanging out outside of the top 1,000. I do think I got a little bit lucky with ice golems coming out of the CC and going towards the queen. Those ice golems could have potentially went towards my throwers, but the queen was able to defeat those ice golems in safety. And so here's the revive, and then the ice block right there. And that was enough to disable most of this core. As you can see, all that's left is an Inferno over here. You can already see how smooth this is looking. Although I did not have this kind of success when I was using this strategy in Legends. And then here's the rest, just 4x with a bit of swag right here. Swag free, swag totem, swag invis in esports. That is what I managed with the revenge deck. I definitely think it has its place in the meta and that throwers may potentially get nerfed. But the revenge deck itself does seem pretty relatively balanced. Yeah, that's right, but 280 average in the starting stage is a good score. You think so? It's my 4th league day with Fireball. I would like to see at least a 295 or better on average. This is one of those cases where I do think I need to eliminate the CC with the giant arrow backpack. This base might be a little bit tricky for me, but I will definitely do my best to triple this. Did go for a simple fireball on this occasion, although I'm going to eventually pull the warden away from this area here. Probably going to use a couple rocket looms just to make sure I manage that, just like that. Next, I do have to keep an eye on those expos. Maybe there's something I can do to stop them, but I'm not too sure. There's a good chance that those expos will shut down the flame flinger at some point. Did unfortunately get targeted early right there by that enemy king. That king really did such an insane job there. But obviously I was a bit late to drop the ice golems. So what are the chances that I should have to Looking somewhat smooth, right? Unfortunate there to lose my warden like that, but I didn't have any spells left over to save him. So that might be the end of the road for this particular hit. Solid attempt. %. So, hey, what's going on? Good to see you, bro. It's nice to see you here on the stream. Hopefully you can give me some pointers. I did do pretty well with this so far. Yesterday was a little rough, but I still feel like I'm learning as I go. And but I just did 310 on my other account. You just missed that. For war, you can plan the attack, so revenge check comes in clutch there. Yeah, you're right about that. You're definitely right about that. For esports, it definitely has its place. I would definitely agree with you there. So, I want to ask you about some certain bases that have been tripping me up at some point. I guess at first we can take a look at this one. I do think that there's a good flinger to pick up at least one of these fire spitters, although it will pretty quickly get intercepted by the expos. So let's start right here with this. I did react to that Tesla a little bit. Bit of a mistake there. I should have tested properly for that Tesla. But it is clear to me that this is one of those bases where the Raven has a clear advantage. Simply due to the fact that the boogers won't pull the CC right. Did unfortunately miss the backpack there, unintentionally. And lost my warden. Not in any good way. Yeah, I'm making some pretty obvious errors here. No doubt about that. There's any chance this goes through, it doesn't. Yeah, don't mind this attack. That's a base where I've had to use the revive on the warden every time. I do think I run this base. And I've seen you triple it. I run it on this account actually. So I've seen you hit me before. Obviously, I didn't learn from your mistakes because you didn't make any. Wiz, what's going on? Good to see you. Fireball, left, air defense, arrow from top for the revenge. I'm glad at least I had the right idea about the giant arrow backpack. And 4:30 after taking out the mortar and the bomb tower. Right here, right? It's pretty interesting that I ended up with mostly the same ideas. Although you're suggesting I should put the flinger over here rather than closer to 3 o'clock like I did, right? Okay, let's continue these hits. This base here. I do see a nice angle to pick up the CC with the giant arrow backpack. I guess the only thing I have to look for is the fireball, right? But there is a nice fireball on the revenge tower. This should be easy. Right, should be. Let's at least get this flinger set up. Do you think that this expo is really going to be a nuisance? It was for a split second, but... At least I have a clear fireball here. Should probably think about a recall that puts the warden into the monolith. Hopefully I don't have any huge difficulties dealing with the town hall. I might have to send the king just directly into it. Unfortunately, things are not going amazingly for my queen. I don't think she has much longer. I did make the mistake of dropping my warden and his healers directly into the air defense. But this does look pretty smooth, right? And then just revive the Duke for time. You seen the army a guy named So is using? Yeah, actually he's in the chat, believe it or not. He's been watching my streams for a bit now, actually, about a couple months, maybe a little longer. So nice that he's getting the recognition he deserves from some people like Shock, recently showcasing his strategy. He's doing a great job this season. I've tripled your 95 2-star by reviving the warden. That makes sense, actually. The Duke ended up not getting too much value from that revive. There's definitely a nice fireball to look at over here by the... I was gonna say the monolith, but I have a feeling that sending the... I did use all of my rocket loons there. Maybe this is a mistake. But we're gonna roll with it. I'm just gonna land a fireball in the multi-gear tower, that's the plan. Do you have a nice fireball set up? The only way I guess that could have been better is if there was angle I could have picked up the revenge shower. So I'm definitely gonna have to be careful with that later on. Should have probably dropped a furnace there behind the expo, or behind the flinger, I should say. Let's just pull the warden up. I do think he has potential to pick up the revenge shower, or at least, if not him, then it should be super minions, right? The super minions can definitely get it done. But you have to use an invis on them. Just like so. That is small fat hand. If you guys remember a couple years back when we did the Holland challenges, where there were a bunch of random things we had to do, like clear a base in a record time. Small Fat Hand was one of those players that was topping those leaderboards. So I think he got a bunch of gems from that a while back. This revenge tower looks a little scary. Must be honest about that revenge tower, it looks scary. I can probably try to set up a flinger so that the troops from the flame flinger do go and pick it up. I can see that working out. So let's at least start the warden over here, because that's going to take a second. Hopefully he goes next to pick up the air defense. I think he will. I did unfortunately screw up that mortar there. Making a lot of mistakes here. This one's unfortunately not going to work out. What do you think? I probably missed something obvious. I think 50k gems, yeah, it was a lot of gems. And Bugs Bunny, good to see you. Used your army today and got 261 after some practice. That's pretty decent. I wouldn't be happy with 261 on a regular basis, but at least for our first day, that's pretty decent, right? 82%. What have I gotten here? This is 278. The 95s, 94s are killing me. I'm getting too many of those, and yeah, this is right around ballpark average. Let's take a look now at what my averages are looking like. Should have some kind of an idea. I am averaging 275 on this account. This is Dhoom. Havoc I just completed. I'm averaging 267. I think that's going to be updated though, because I just did another attack, so that might be around like 268 or 269. 277 here. And then Rage is 291 for the season, pretty solid. Chaos and Death obviously have +0 for today, so the averages are a little bit skewed. Once I complete those hits, we should have a pretty clear idea of what the averages are looking like. Although you guys do have to take it with a grain of salt, because I did use Hydra in the early season. Doom is goated, thank you so much. I appreciate that. This one's pretty obvious what to go for. I might not even consider bringing the Flinger here. I have a feeling that the Troop Launcher can do an equally decent job in this particular instance. Let's just check for a Tesla. To get all of my targets there except for the CC. Getting the CC obviously would have been nice, you know. So I'm going to have to live with the fact that I didn't. The witches do go down, which is nice. And I'm just gonna recall the warden any moment now. The rest of this is looking almost like swag. Almost. Oh, I hope I haven't screwed it up now. After saying that. I think I did. One of those rare instances. 98%. Very close. Ninja base builder, is that who I just attacked? Was Ninja? It was. I don't know if this is the Ninja, but judging by his rank, it probably is. Very unfortunate that I failed that. I think that was supposed to be easy. Maybe the troop launcher was suboptimal there. I could have also brought maybe like the siege barracks. Potentially. But the siege barracks has the obvious complication of pulling the warren sometimes. Okay, this base. There is a... Let's see if there's a Tesla in this corner. If there is a Tesla, then I can obviously get a nice arrow to pick up the CC and the revenge shower. Here I'm going for a fireball in the rage shower. Or at least close by it. Like I could probably get by with hitting the fire spitter. Looking good so far, I gotta say. So far, so okay. Now let's not miss this arrow here. This is really like the trickiest point of this attack. Just because of the angle. And unfortunately I do miss the arrow. So maybe I can recover that still. I think that this still has some chances. Depending on how the revenge shower is handled. The revenge shower could be scary. Gonna save my spells for that. Was really hoping that the Duke would be a little smarter than that. This is gonna time fill. 94%. Yada and Ninja back to back. Have I just found Yada? Mr. Yada. And I've given him defense too. Again, a mismanagement of the time. If we get CC or Revenge Shower, yeah, the CC definitely was an issue. It's really hard to get a proper angle with the giant arrow on that particular layout, especially because you're shooting from an army camp, which is a 4x4 building. The angles are a little bit different. I do suspect in this particular instance I won't be able to hit both the CC in the revenge tower. But I do see a nice fireball. And once I pick up the multi-gear tower, I'll probably just recall. Did nearly miss that. And thankfully I did get both there, which is nice. I wasn't expecting actually to get both the CC and the revenge tower just based on that angle. That was nice. And maybe I can get by with saving a recall spell. Or, nah, I think I'll use it. Not that great of an attack. If anything, it's a time fill. Once again. Yeah, and how's that for a fun drinking game? It's just take a shot every time I time fill. 99%. How many accounts are you pushing with? 6. It is 48 hits a day. I'm on my 5th one right now, actually. And already starting off with some back-to-back fails. But yeah, the way I lost the one there obviously was not ideal. That could have been an easy triple. Okay, this layout. I can definitely do some interesting things with the fireball, which don't require any quakes on this particular layout. The only thing I worry about is exactly what a follow-up would look like. The fire spitters are in a good position on this layout. I'm setting up the flinger over here. So far looking pretty decent, right? So long as I don't lose a warden. This layout kind of feels like a free triple every time I see it. A little bit of a time constraint here. Otherwise, I could swag pretty much everything. I think I am going to try to swag everything. Here's a Quake. And let's just recall for time. I've had back-to-back 295 days. Of course, it has to be 2 1-stars. It happens, bro. But a 295 average is definitely very good. You could easily make it into the global top 200 if every day you are hitting with 295. With getting Inferno only with the Fireball, but also 3-star, the truth is there's not really any great Fireball value on this base. And the damage is so spread out that you can just let the Warden walk forever. I could probably get away with swagging the Fireball. You saw that I used those couple of Quakes just for whatever in the end. That style of a base is very popular these days, mainly to defend stuff like Hydra, Super Bowler, stuff like that. This is Adrenaline. I kind of want your professional opinion, Mr. So, if you're in the chat, what you would go for on a layout like this. This one's kind of been tripping me out. Maybe a Fireball on the scatter shot. Looks pretty decent. I'll start the Flinger over here. But I'm going to keep an eye on the Expo once I get close to it. But I do like the idea of sending a Fireball on that scatter shot. Just like that. Picks up as well the Revenge Shower, which is always nice. Always nice to get that. Next, I will be targeting the CC with the Giant Arrow Backpack. I did pull some of it, unfortunately, just by a pure mistake. This Town Hall area is really doing a lot of damage. Going to end up losing the Queen, right? Very soon. But at least I did get the Town Hall down before that happened. So maybe there are some chances to finish this here. Especially depending on the Duke and what he's capable of, but I don't think it's much, unfortunately. But yeah, you can see here how this base has been a constant difficulty for me. Like, I think I did mostly decent. But obviously, this Town Hall area is very complicated. Fireball, top scatter flinger at 715, arrow from 345 to get the CC in the cake. Make sure Quake the Rage as well so that it goes down. Because you got a sharp entry with that and no Rage Shower effects left. Okay, let's take a look. Fireball the top scatter. That is what I did get. Flinger at 715. Right over here. Arrow from 345. So you suggest that I actually end on the town hall. But the goal is obviously for the giant arrow to hit the, or at least some part of the setup to hit the rage shower. That makes perfect sense, actually. And then the fire spitter picks up the, or the flame flinger picks up the fire spitter for a clean approach for the heroes. It does make sense, but you gotta take down the archer tower, so better flinger angle. Let's take a look. I know this guy, by the way, Adrenaline. Managed to give him some defense, right? Obviously, I made a mistake with pulling the CC by sending all of my rocket loons. Very interesting. Rage just goes down with 2 quakes in the backpack. Yeah, you can also get it with just 0 quakes, as long as you have a perfect arrow. Quakes without the, or I should say arrow without the quakes. Okay, here I obviously want to pick up the CC with the fireball, and then probably hit the monolith with the giant arrow backpack. Okay. Let's check for any Teslas. I'm sure there's going to be at least one. Of course there's. I did miss the fireball there, unfortunately. That's a mistake. So I'm probably going to have to think about hitting the CC with the giant arrow backpack. Bit of a sad mistake there. Thankfully, the CC does look pretty easy to manage. With some furnaces. And yeah, I've screwed this up already. Missing that fireball just cost me everything there, didn't it? We'll see what a good follow-up here could look like. I do think that there's a recovery potential at this point. This is looking actually pretty decent, considering how I missed the fireball. And thankfully I did pull through. Can you get top 200s? Nah, not for today. I'm definitely going to be in the top 1000 after my offense today, but not in the top 200. I commonly fail on bases like this, but you play Hydra and Thrower. Yeah, this is a good base to defend against Hydra. I agree. Before I was using this Fireball army, I was using Hydra mostly with the Giant Arrow backpack. I can show you pretty quickly this combination I was using. The most interesting thing about this combination is obviously the Rage Gem together with the Healing Tool. A lot of people are skeptical about it, but it did get me pretty decent success. Guys, like the video. Also, if you're new, subscribe to the channel. I appreciate that, bro. I don't like begging for subs, so nice that somebody in the chat will do it for me. But yeah, Zaki Clashing, you guys gotta check him out because he does have a lot of clans in the leaderboard here. You can take a look. Global rank 1 is Zaki Clashing. So always nice to see him in the chat. Where are you from? I'm from Vegas in the US. That's where I'm from. Let's collect all this here. Always nice to get free gems from the gem village. Or I guess I should call it the builder base, right? That's all it is to me, is a gem village. Now, this is another base I do fail quite a bit. Although the truth is it's actually not so complicated. It's just that I often make mistakes here. Gonna wait for the worm to walk a little bit south. Just a little bit. But yeah, that's already mistake number 1, is I missed the fireball. I lost the warden. That's the long shot together with the... Yeah, I'm cooked. Definitely cooked. Too many mistakes. I'm just going to focus on sending the king into the town hall, if possible. Thankfully, the king does go for it. But now we're back to our regularly scheduled business here with the warden. Trying to pick up that monolith. If the warden was not standing in the range of the long shot, obviously, I wouldn't have had to deal with all this. I guess a pretty solid recovery nonetheless, considering all that went wrong. Bro, the one just dies so fast. Yeah, with the modifiers, he has like almost 0 HP. It is a 88%. Definitely not a time fill. Madness, hey, what's going on? Welcome to the stream, bro. You tripled this in Shock's vid. It's funny because I was practicing it earlier in friendly challenges. And I tripled it then too, but not as often as I hoped. And yeah, send your player tag, by the way, Mr. Madness. I'll check your base out. But yeah, the warden together with the monolith and long shot, he can't handle all that. looking for a way to set up the flinger, although I do think that this is definitely a case you could argue the log launcher makes sense. I think I'm actually going to give that a shot here. Did get some nice value there. Let's try to get the warden to head this way. Like so. He will go and pick up the fire spitter, which is nice. To get all of my primary targets there. The only thing I missed, which I kind of wish I got, were the spell towers. Would have obviously been nice to get that. So far looking pretty solid, right? Gonna shoot this spiky ball in a second, and it'll be enough to take the base out, at least with the revive. Just like so. The long shot's actually underrated, yeah. If you're not paying attention to the long shot in a strategy like this. I also think it takes a good base. That is definitely one of those bases. And I gotta say I think that people should be revisiting the bases that we had back in the long shot meta. Because there were definitely some good bases back then, which could still work. And Mr. Madness, let's take a look at your base. This army is actually fun to watch, but do you think it's better than your Hydra backpack army? I think I just need more practice with it. I think this army has more potential. The Hydra started failing a bit after the balance changes. Rick, Town Hall 14 in the Witch Leagues. I hope that's going well for you, ranked. Town Hall 14 was a good time. This is when we unlocked the Flame Flinger, the Dragon Riders, and the Dragon Riders have pretty much been a staple in the meta ever since. I guess they kind of fell off in Town Hall 15, maybe you could say. I mean, Town Hall 16. But in pretty much every meta in between, then we've seen Dragon Riders to some capacity. So if you're not sure what to use, you should probably incorporate those into your strategy. OP, thank you so much. Dhoom, what happened to that CWL video you were planning? Good question, bro. I got caught up with work. I had everything recorded, but I never had the time to edit everything. When I have the 6 builder, let's take a look at your home village, because your, I think it's the Bato Shack, should be able to tell you when you get the 6 builder. I think you need to have some levels. You're missing a lot of levels, especially the heroes. You're supposed to have a combined level of 35 on the heroes, and so some work on the battle machine could be done there. And if I were to pick any one troop to upgrade all the way to max level, it would probably be the Night Witch. You would get the best success out of Night Witch spam and the early levels. But you have to look in here in the Bato shack to figure out what you need to do for the 6 builder. From Town Hall 15 to 16, I don't see any use for anything else than Root Riders. Yeah, Root Riders took over the meta. For Town Hall 15 and 16, you're right. Why not Bracelet with Spiky Ball and the King? I'll show you why not. Actually, we can take a look at So's numbers. We can take a quick look. I wonder if So is anywhere on the leaderboard, but he should be. Oh, I know how I can search him. It's probably like this. Because he is in the server, I can just search him by his user. Like this. You're 2.9. Yeah, you guys gotta see this. This is the reason why essentially I'm using the Spiky Ball. Drop to 1 stars, that's unfortunate. It happens. But your average is still pretty good. Obviously it says 278, but that's because you haven't done hits yet today. So I reckon once you get through the hits, your average will be well over 300. That's where we're at. That's the biggest reason why I'm not using the Spiky Ball and the Snake Bracelet. That is 271 done. Let's see what my average is so far. It is 281, 271. Plus, I'm missing 1. I think it's what I did on Havoc, right? Average is chilling over 300. Yeah, you're easily going to finish in the top 200 with that. Easily. Yeah, my average today is 287.8 so far, but I still have 1 more account to push. So as long as I do better than 290, then that is where my average is right around. And yeah, we're down to our last 8 attacks. Already have some defense, but yesterday was 271 here. We're like top 10, you think so? Okay, this base here. Definitely want to hit the CC here. Trying to think about some kind of an angle for the flinger that can work on this layout. Let's just start the Warden immediately. Wow. How unfortunate. Let's just recall right there. And of course I'm going to lose the flinger too because of this. Maybe now I can safely reposition my worm here. Probably gonna spam a bunch of rocket loans to pick up the revenge shower. Just like that, and hopefully that's enough. Because there is a chance this is not enough. No more spells. If I had a revive, then definitely this was a triple. What's the way the went down was obviously not ideal. 97%, 98. Let's try hybrid. Nah, bro. I don't trust hybrid. Not in this meta. It's something I would have to check out in friendly challenges first. Gonna have to make space for myself. Okay, see here. This base, there's definitely a nice potential for the giant arrow backpack, right? And a lot of good value also to use only one quake down here. I guess I just have to look for a flinger. I could use a second quake there, but the truth is, I don't really want to. Maybe that was a waste of a spiky ball. The value wasn't too great, but things are going well enough that I'm not so worried. Do I at least want to see the scatter shot go down soon? Another easy 3 stars, Swagger Revive. Okay, let's see here. I can probably use the Giant Arrow Backpack to pick up the Revenge Shower and the CC. And obviously that gold mine is in a ideal position for me, actually. Just have to look for a good flinger. Might end up doing it from the opposite side as well. Gotta be super duper careful about this flinger. It's going into 2 expos. Recall. This might end up time failing. It's kind of how it looks so far. Is 30 seconds enough? It's going to be very close, isn't it? I have a feeling. Yeah, 99. Very close. Damn, you're still streaming? Yeah, it's been 3 hours. This is my base. Is it actually you? There's a chance it's you. Especially if you are also pushing in Legends 1. I did just time fail on you, so. I think I wasted time obviously setting up this fireball. This could have been done a lot quicker, obviously. Let's see where we're at. We have 5 hits left. And we are going for 302, I think. I wonder if a fireball on the expo gets the revenge shower. If it does, then it's actually pretty fantastic. Queen's not in good shape here. Definitely hasn't gone well. I probably should have used those ice golems. Yeah, not much I can work with now. There's a revive, obviously, which can do great, but I really need that these... rocket loons or something can pick up the monolith. That's kind of where I'm at. Once again, another time fill. Seems to be the moral of the story with this army. Melina, thanks for the follow. I appreciate that. Melina TBZ. And yeah, welcome to the stream. I am using a strategy that I'm not 100% accustomed to. So, if you're wondering why I'm failing so much, it's pretty much why. I promise I do triple a bit more than this, but I think that this strategy has a decent amount of flexibility, you know? It's just obviously a high skill strategy. See where the warden goes next. Misplaced my quakes. But at least I neutralized the expo in time. That is nice. So far looking pretty decent. Haven't even dropped my king yet. And he's about to go ham on the space. Ice Golem's quite crucial for the hero dive, yeah, and I tend to forget them. So, that's probably something I can work on. The Ice Golems do a great job. They got a new level at some point in Town Hall 18, I don't remember exactly when. It might have been right at the beginning, but that new level did give them quite a nice freeze duration. 9 seconds. A normal freeze spell is only 6 seconds, so if you can get a good placement on the ice golem, it can be better value than bringing a spell pretty much. For this layout, what do I think? I think I want to run a fireball somewhere on the rage tower. Definitely think that my setup might be a little bit time intensive. So just gotta keep an eye out. Wow, that was forced. Not exactly as I intended there. Let's just recall. To get all of my targets there except for the revenge shower. Not getting that revenge shower might be a big issue though. We shall see. Still have some super minions left, which I can use to pick up that revenge shower, which would be nice. And now we shall see if the Duke together with the Warden is enough. I think it is enough in this case. Two attacks left. Hopefully I can pull together a 295. That would be right above my average. Just need a couple more triples, right? This is definitely one of those cases where I need to be careful about the giant arrow. Can also think about running a let's see here. Start with the flinger. At least I'm sure about that. This isn't what I initially had in mind, but I'm doing this because I want the flinger to work, or the arrow, I should say. Even though I'm not getting exactly the best flanger value from that. And thankfully I do get that arrow that I was looking for, which is obviously very nice. So this should be a pretty easy follow-up now. Waiting until the last possible second for the spiky ball. Basically as late as I can use it. I'll even let it get forced if I have to. And then swag a couple of totems. And a revive spell. Bro, any good base for Legends too? I did share a base in the video description. So you can check that out. I thought I could swag everything else, but my warden just went down, so kind of panicked there and dropped everything. Yeah, check the video description. I left a base in there for you guys. You can try to use that. That is one of my bases. Alrighty, one more. And if I triple this, then we should be on for a pretty decent day, right? Very interesting to see this though. Wasn't expecting to find a Rage Invis base like this one. But there's definitely a nice fireball on the Ricochet to pick up the CC in the Revenge Tower. And I can obviously follow it up with a pretty easy Giant Arrow backpack. I might even think about bringing the log launcher in this case, but I think I'm just going to opt for this instead. Now I just obviously have to keep a very close eye on the expo once I get there. I'll probably recall the warden in a second and just send the king into the town hall. It's probably the easiest way to deal with all that. Hopefully this does the job here. It's looking pretty decent. Although I am a little bit skeptical about what the monolith is capable of. Looks like it might get me. Very unfortunate. Oh, I say that, but obviously this did go through for 3 stars. I thought for a second that it wasn't. But that is 295 done. A pretty decent run today. What was my average? 287.8 times 5 equals 1439. So 1439 plus 295 equals 1734. Divide by 6 equals 289 was my average that I did on stream with this. That is definitely good enough to place myself in the top 1000. But I obviously want to go a little higher than that, right? So GG's, thank you so much. I appreciate you tuning in, giving me a little pointers on those couple of bases. Just went 287, that's pretty good. It's okay. Like, it's decent. I wouldn't consider it exceptional, but good effort. Definitely decent effort. And yeah, it's been fun. I definitely like this strategy a lot, and I like that it's very hard to trap against this because there's so many different things that you can use to test for the traps. It's not like what I was doing before with Hydra, where I could just dump all of my dragons into a farm of black air bombs and then immediately get shafted before the attack is even 30 seconds in. And yeah, I mean, 289 average is not bad. It's just a little bit off the mark. Would like to be at least above 295. That would put me back to where I was a couple seasons ago. I did 1169 on offense last week, but defense didn't work. I ended up 4th. That's unfortunate. I gotta say, that's the thing about Legends 2, is that you oftentimes find that the result mostly depends on the luck that you have in terms of the matchup. You could end up in a weaker group and promote even with a weaker offense. And some weeks are tough. You could have almost a perfect offense and still not promote. That is Legends 2 for you. See what I got here. Defense is definitely coming in quite nicely. I did update a couple of my bases. For Town Hall 15 on the King Spiky Ball with the horse or ball, I definitely think you should use the snakes. The snake bracelet together with the spiky ball, and then Frosty. That's a nice combination for the king. It looks like this. This is what I would suggest for you to use, especially if you're using Root Riders. Root Riders are pretty much your best option in Town Hall 15 at the moment. This was my 310. This is one of the best I've done. I did do a 312 the other day, but that 310 is definitely up there, one of my best results. There's still no 320 yet, but give me just a few more days to deal with that. Show your Legends 1 current defense. I do use a bunch of different bases, but this is one of them. I shared one of them in the video description, so you can check that out. What did I get here? 278, and hopefully this defense works, but I have a feeling that it may not end up working. This was with the revenge check, so we can take a quick look how this went down here. GG's Dhoom, all your attacks done? Yes, I did do all 48 of my hits on the stream. I have plans tomorrow for the evening, so I will be out tomorrow night. That was kind of my inspiration for getting the hits done early. Honestly, I'm not sure about this base anymore. Feels like it has some weaknesses and might be getting burnt. I do find a couple 1 stars every now and then, but think for the most part this base seems pretty easy. This is with the throwers and the revenge check. I am using this in esports, and it's working quite nicely, I gotta say. He did obviously make some mistakes, especially managing the fire spitters and all. He revived the warden and it went right down again, so definitely a nice defense there, but hopefully it can all come together today. This is the same base. This is also again with the revenge check. I don't know. What do you guys think? I definitely think that the revenge check has its place, but is not obviously overpowered, right? I would definitely, if you're going to use anything with the revenge check right now, it's probably the throwers. It's just hard to get a good pathing with them without any proper setup, right? On a base like this, you would probably do a giant arrow backpack to hit the CC, the cakes, and the ray shower. And that sets up a nice clean entry for throwers to go down one side of the base. It's obviously not what this guy is opting for though. He has throwers and the Duke with the Electro Fangs. They're getting baited so bad right now? Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah, once we see that the meta is clearly in the favor of throwers, which I think it is, then we will definitely be seeing more bases that are trapped against throwers. Right now, I'm not sure that's exactly the case just yet. It seems like bases are trapped right now against air spam, especially in the higher leagues and the higher Legend League. I think another Duke nerf is coming soon too, you might be right. Yesterday I lost all my healers to red air bombs. Yeah, that used to happen quite a lot back in the day of Town Hall 17, right? We saw a lot of red air bomb farms back then because people were pushing with Root Riders, with Rocket Loons, and obviously both of those strategies were quite dependent on healers. So there were lots of early red air bomb farms. You don't see that very much these days. This probably should have been a 1-star. But he got lucky there to pick up the town hall. This army works just in Legends 1 and esports. You need like 5 earthquakes for the... Yeah, you're right. In esports, I do prefer using the revenge check though. I'll show you guys how that looks. So on a base like this, with the giant arrow backpack, you would probably want to hit the revenge tower and the monolith, or the multi-inferno. I don't know why I called that a monolith. And then that splits the base in two so that you can set up a thrower entry to go behind one of the fire spitters. But in this case, I actually want to try something a little different and head for the town hall instead. I wish I saved my ice golem. With this, you have to be super patient with the troop launcher. Your initial wall break should be used with super wall breakers. But then after that... can already see how this is looking decent, right? I just realized this is Legends 1. I thought I was hitting this in esports. We can try this again in esports. I did make some mistakes, so maybe without the mistakes, I can pick up an easy triple here. But here is a swag revive in the Legends 1 modifier. Okay, let's try that again. I'll do everything mostly the same. Mostly. Yeah, that's really the nice thing about this strategy is the fact that it doesn't rely so heavily on earthquake spells, right? Like most of the other meta strategies. I guess I'll lose the queen there, but it's fine. So it's probably going to end up being super close. Or maybe not even close at all. This is the army I'm running right now. Yeah, I stole this composition from Ace, so I wouldn't be surprised. The deck was banned in qualifiers, will it be available in monthly finals? That's a good question, actually. I wonder why they ban it like that. Maybe it's not exactly balanced like they want. But that is a swag revive in esports. If you don't get baited, you can usually swag multiple spells. Yeah, you're probably right. The biggest trap you can fall for is probably something with spring traps, right? Maybe one good way to counter that is with like a meteor golem. So that's something like, let's see here. Like this with one meteor golem. The meteor golem does a great job of clearing spring traps ahead of throwers. It's just an idea, but whether it's a good idea or not, I'm not so sure. Worth a try, maybe. But I do know that Vizy was using 2 meteor golems and 5 throwers at one point for that exact reason. When the leaks came for this equipment, yeah, they had to nerf it. I remember when I first saw the stats that I thought that's crazy, and it did end up getting nerfed. It also had an additional hero stat, like you can see how in the hero boost it has a hit point increase of 3200, but it also at one point had a DPS increase, which was eventually taken out. The counter damage was also reduced, and I think that the heal per counter was also reduced. It did get a bit of an overhaul before it was released. Hanson, what's going on? You are a little late. Yes, I did finish all of my Legend League attacks. And actually, I think I'm going to be calling it good for the stream. It's been a fun stream with a ton of decent hits. No 1-stars, which I gotta say, that's the thing I love the most about this Fireball army, is that I basically never do any 1-stars with this. I don't think that I've done any 1-stars other than the first day that I used this, which was 4 days ago now. So, alrighty y'all, it's been a fun stream, a good ride, and yeah, hope you guys have a great night and take care. Peace.